Hello, Clive. We're on the Archie Luxury channel and we're discussing wristwatches today. And today, Clive, I wanted to, I was thinking about this. I think we'll discuss your first decent watch. Now, it
Okay.
doesn't have to be a Rolex, doesn't have to be anything, whatever you consider first decent watch.
That was a Rolex. It was 1002 Oyster Perpetual, original Oyster bracelet, silver dial, and yeah, that was the first decent. I consider that the first decent watch.
And this was a watch that you bought yourself?
Yes,
Did you buy it new or secondhand? Tell me what the story is there.
I said it's a 1002, which would make it from 1962.
Yep.
Which would be 5 years
Well,
before I was.
I didn't want to embarrass you, okay? I didn't want to say how old you were there. And
But you implied I was even older.
They made the 1002 for quite a long time.
This was from 1962, and I definitely bought it used.
Okay, no problems. Just I don't want to be accused of being ageist there. Yes. No, that's cool. That's very cool. So how old were you when you bought this watch?
47.
Sorry, so say that again.
47.
You were 47. Sorry, no. This is when you bought this watch. This is your first decent watch, you're saying to me?
Yes.
How old are you now? I thought you were...
It was a couple of years. It was 2 years ago.
This was your first decent watch at 47?
Yeah, actually it was. I mean, do you consider... And I didn't wear a watch for most of my life, except, the Apple Watch is actually what got me back into horology, after Timexes and everything else when I was a kid. Well, maybe an Invicta.
Maybe an Invicta. That's not a decent watch.
Well, okay. Well, okay then. The Invicta got me, and the X got me Invicta, and I didn't really even like that one as much. But a couple of years ago, I thought, Rolex. I would like to. To me, having a Rolex was an unattainable dream.
I see. An unattainable dream.
Yes, because only rich people had Rolex. And
I see.
I realized they weren't nearly as unaffordable as I thought, especially an older option like that.
I see. Very, very interesting indeed there, Clive. Now, tell me this, with these beautiful timepieces that you're talking about, you had nothing decent when you were in your 20s?
I can't recall anything, no. I can't really recall anything.
Nothing?
No.
Wow. I don't know what to say, Clive. You had nothing in your 20s? Like,
certainly not. Well, if I had, it wouldn't be anything. I can't remember anything, quite frankly. Then again, I did hoist a few in my 20s that may have blotted out a few things, but I can't recall having a watch even nicer than an Invicta.
I see.
Oh, real quick, might I do one thing? Sucker horn! Sucker horn sighting. It's mandatory.
Now, let me clarify this. You were 47 and you got a 1002. They're not that expensive, Clive.
I know. Well, I didn't know anything about them at the time.
They're a bit on the small side, don't you think?
Yeah, well, it's 34. And I wanted a Rolex. So I went budget-oriented. Craigslist.
Yes.
It's actually nice condition or everything else like that. But I received it I bought it for $1,500, I think. I just ended up not liking it because it was too small. I didn't like the contrast with the white gold hands and the silver dial. I had trouble reading it half the time, unless it was just broad daylight.
Yes.
And I eventually ended up getting out of it later, getting out of it for $1,500. But on the other hand, that's why I say Christian and people like him who are pulling people into the vintage market are important to the long-term future of horology. That's because those pieces like that are enough to get the bug, to wet the whistle, to start the obsession.
Yes, I see what you're saying. It's I gotta say to you, Clive, it's a very interesting thing. My first Rolex, I got an 18. I got a Rolex Explorer 1, 1016.
When you were 18?
Yes, when I was 18.
Well, that's because my father wasn't a rich accountant.
I had to pay for this myself. I put it on the Amex card, and I soon discovered that you had to pay the whole balance off next month in full. You were joking. What sort of card is that? I thought to myself.
One for either very rich people, such as accountants' sons, or idiots,
Yes.
such as accountants' sons.
Yes. Now, I got to tell you, Clive, if I would have had enough money to buy what I wanted an Explorer 2. I think that's the watch I would have really, really liked. I like the look of it. And that's probably, if I had money, the one I would have bought. But I got to tell you, it was kind of a bit sad to. I kind of look back and wish I still had that first Rolex that I had there. But it's how horology is. It's the journey. It's the journey. It's the journey you go on, Clive. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
And now you asked a very good question before there. When we were talking before, you said, what was that question there?
Oh, before you start filming?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, that was posted by Garbage Fire.
Yes.
I'm curious as to how long in a relationship did Archie buy his wives or girlfriends a watch, and what kind he got them. A follow-up, a secondary question was, when you got engaged, did your fiance buy you a nice watch in return for the engagement ring? She said that was the tradition I grew up with. See, I never heard of that, and I think that's awesome because the tradition I grew up is that the guy goes out, busts his ass, spends 3 months of salary, and gets an engagement ring, and the woman says thank you, and maybe other things which would definitely cost you your Google monetization if I were to say them.
Now I got to tell you, Clive. Okay, so in your case, did you buy your girlfriend any significant watches?
No.
Okay, that's good. Very, very, very to the point. Okay. Well, I got to tell you, the first decent watch for my first wife was many, many years later. This would have been, we would have been married for 5 years, 6 years, and I bought her a two-tone Datejust. She didn't like it. She didn't like it. And so I actually sold it. And then that particular wife got I got her a Santos, a Cartier Santos two-tone moon phase. And I got to tell you, Clive, that was actually quite a cool watch.
I heard about that. I think I heard about that. That's been around for a while, that model, right?
They did the Santos moon phase as a limited edition. It was done. It was only done for a fairly short time. And
I remember hearing about it. I remember hearing about it in a song in a movie.
In a what?
Song in a movie.
A song in a movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Santos Dominos. Santos.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. It's your type of lawyer humor. Sorry there. I'll just bring that photo on the screen for you to have a look at, Clive.
That's
what it was?
It's actually from The Exorcist.
Okay. 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 Fair enough. Fair enough. We've so this is what the Santos moon phase looked like. So I got her one of those, and
Right.
she actually, I will tell you, she actually really liked that watch. And it had the date. You see there, it didn't have seconds. It had minute, hour, and it had the date, and it had a moon phase. It was quite an interesting piece.
Now, was it?
I bought that second hand. No, unfortunately, Clive, unfortunately, it was actually a quartz movement. And actually, she actually sold it to me many years later. She sold it back to me after we divorced. And yeah, but the bloody movement stopped. The bloody movement. I sent it off. It needed a very expensive repair, which that's another story. But yeah, it was look, it was okay. That was that wife. The second wife. The second wife. I actually gave her a few watches, but when we sort of split, I kind of took them back. Is that rude to say that?
No. No, it's not rude to say that. It was rude to do that, but it's not rude to say that.
Okay. Okay. I'll tell you what.
The first wife was the Ukrainian, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What was the second wife?
Now it was the how do I spell? So I'm just trying to check it here. It was I'm just trying to, I just had a mental block here. It was actually the Cartier Baignoire is what this was probably one of the most beautiful. Baignoire is French for bathtub.
Oh, I thought it was Benoit.
Baignoire. How do I spell that? Give me I'm just it's B-A-N.
Wait, you're asking Oki how you spell something in French?
Yes. Just give it to me, Clive.
B-E-N. Well, okay, comment, guys. Please help us out here, okay? Seriously.
I think it's B-A-N. Baignoire. Oh, Jesus.
Banquet? No.
Baignoire. Baignoire. I'm trying to.
Banlieue.
What is how to spell? Baignoire. I'm having mental blocks here. Here we go. I got it. Sorry, I got it.
Cardio.
This is actually what it looked like. This is what it looked like. It was like this. Okay.
No, that was mechanical or quartz?
It was a quartz. It was 18 karat. I remember I got it at a very good price, and that went to my second wife, but I actually took it back before we separated. I sneakily. You know who else had one of these Baignoires?
Who else?
Charlie Chaplin bought one for his wife, Uni.
Gotcha. Wasn't there a scandal? Wasn't there a huge age difference?
Yeah, she was, I think, 14 or 15 when he met her. But they were married for a long, long time after that.
You break it, you buy it.
Now, thank you, Clive. Now, Clive, I got to tell you, so that wife there, when I left, she also had a two-tone Rolex. with aftermarket diamond dial, aftermarket mother of pearl diamond dial and diamond bezel. That was also sold. And she got to keep the engagement ring, the 1 carat, which I ended up buying back off her as well. I seem to buy my stuff back from these women, okay? I seem to buy my stuff back. And then the third wife, she's had a huge collection. The last wife, she had a huge collection. She had a Patek. She's had 3 Pateks. I bought her 3 Pateks, not at the same time. Like we get rid of one and then it funded the next one. She had a Reverso manual wind. She's had 2 Reversos actually. She had probably a dozen Datejust and Rolexes. So yeah, I got to be honest with you. They were kind of come and go. She was never that really into luxury goods there. Now what I do is I keep a little inventory. I've got 2 watches left. I've got the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Sorry, it's not a Royal Oak. Sorry, back. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm not pumping on all cylinders, Clive. I'm a little bit stale. There.
You got some puppies in the Constantinople, in other words.
Sorry, got some what?
Puppies in the... Never mind, it's just an old country saying. Go ahead.
Okay. So the Audemars Piguet there, that is the unsellable watch of my life. That'll never be sold because no one will buy it. It's actually not bad value. I tell you the truth, I'd take $1,000 US for it.
What color is the dial?
It's a gray, dark gray. It's here on the screen. Can't you see it? Can you not see that?
Right. Oh, a little bit. Well, it might be kind of bluish, really.
Yeah, it is gray. But I got to tell you, I have that one there, and I also have got a ladies' date. A ladies' date, which what I like to do is when I go dating, I'll let the woman wear it. And then when the date finishes, she can give it back to me. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of like a high horology version of a dog collar, I guess. Does it have a tracker on it?
Clive, I got to be honest with you there. So what happens is I've got to be, can I be completely honest with you?
Yes, please.
The only thing I'm finding is with this dating method, this technique, right? I'm not finding there's many follow-up dates. This is the second watch. This is the date, the Rolex date. You see it here?
Mm-hmm. With the Buckley dial.
Yeah. So this is a 7/9. This is a 7 series. Like normally there's 6917, 160, something like that. This is a 79160, which is this is early 2000. 1999. This watch. It's an A serial number.
Now,
so I actually let the women wear it. Then after the date, they give it back to me, right? And what I'm finding is I'm not getting many second dates. They're saying, look, it was going great. Everything's good, but you're just not my type. Would you like to stay friends? I just don't feel any attraction to you. Other women have just blocked my phone number completely. Other women who have just, I don't know what's wrong. Okay. Maybe obviously, it's not a...
Well, the thing is, now Rick Hasselmeyer had a great idea for this. And it's brilliant. If you could rig it up to where it would serve as a shock collar.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That way, yeah, actually, that way when you're dating him, you give him corrective action.
So I got to tell you the truth, Clive.
Well, if the date's not bringing you luck, sell it.
Yeah, I'll wait and see. I've just been a little bit down, but I'm just telling you, these are the watches. So anyhow, I want to talk to you about some lessons learned. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish I still had that first Rolex. What about you? Do you wish you had, well, the 101002? No one would want that back. No.
No, it was, lessons I've learned is
Yep. Tell me, what lessons have you learned?
not to be as impulsive buying watches.
Yeah.
Do more research. Do more research. But the nice thing, well, of course, the nice thing is if you buy well with Rolex is that I haven't been burned at all. In a lot of ways, horology, starting watch collection, you almost discover as much of yourself as you do about the watches.
Yes, very good point.
Impulse. I have to curb my impulsiveness, as you know, certainly by numerous phone
I've been
calls.
trying to do that for you, but you buy these things on the side.
Yeah, I'll cheap thrills. Are you talking about my A11 from World War II?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Oh, okay. The DeVos?
Yeah.
Okay. And at times I have to admit, though, there have been times where something else has really come up, and it's like, crap! I wish I would have saved the money up from those purchases and had it in the wallet. But sometimes you.
But you know how easy it is to sell those DeVosses. I heard there's a really big market for them in Oklahoma.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, okay. Now let's just throw it down here. I think I would stick it up against a Panerai radio mirror any day of the week. I think it's a better value. I think it's probably closer to the that homage watch is probably closer to the original radio mirror that it pays tribute to than Panerai's own versions. And along those lines, you might lose a little bit if you buying a DeVos and selling it. But even you can buy those used. You might lose a couple of hundred, but if you bought a real radio mirror, an authentic one, you'd lose your. I'm trying to think of a way to get this not to blow your funding here.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I understand what you're saying there, Clive. Point taken. I got to tell you, in all honesty, Clive, I really do worry about some of your purchases there because they are not horology purchases. They are really scraping the barrel there. I wanted to ask you this for a while there. I don't see how you get excited for these things you buy.
Actually, you can't logically explain.
Look at this. Look at this. This paddock here. This is a beautiful thing, Clive. That is a thing of beauty. That's a gorgeous thing.
Yeah. And so it can remind you of all the places. It reminds you of all the places can no longer afford to visit. Yes. I remember when I used to go there. I remember when I used to go there. God, I remember when I used to go there. And the actual watch part that you actually use on a daily basis is like what, 1/3 or 1/2 the watch face?
Clive, now I got to say this to you: your first decent watch. Now, as you were saying, so anyhow, I got to tell you, giving expensive watches to women, they don't seem that. I found I got a lot more enjoyment giving handbags or shoes to women. I got a lot more services.
Do you sniff the watch when you get it back from them at the end of the night?
Oh, definitely.
No, we're not going to go any further in this. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, and I have to admit, though,
I will tell you a story. I did know a guy.
With the better photography, I have to admit, I do like that guilloche on the inner dial. There, I said it. That is cool. I like the pattern of it.
I do have to tell you a story. I do know one guy who used to visit escorts. And he used to take all his wife's really expensive jewelry and get the girl to put it on whilst he was having a session with her.
That's beautiful.
And then take it off. I don't know why he did that. I think there's some anger issues there. Clive,
you want to hear one of the most cold-blooded, ruthless stories?
Sure.
Okay. A guy basically just breaks, a lot of problems with the wife.
Yeah.
And so just all of a sudden, before he takes off to work, just flips a switch and starts acting amorous.
Amorous. What's amorous mean? To explain that, sorry.
Romantic.
Romantic. Okay. Okay.
So completely out of the blue, they have a just a really wild, miraculous lovemaking session before he goes to work.
Okay.
And as soon as he gets out the doorbell starts ringing.
Yeah.
The wife answers the door in a bathrobe, and there's a process server there to hit her with the divorce papers.
Okay.
So literally, well, I don't know how much. Literally, yeah. After, well, I can't really. I'm kind of worried about what I can say and what I can't say. But
yes,
literally,
yes.
yeah.
I understand. We do get that now, Clive.
Yeah. Now to me, that is cold-blooded. That is the most cold-blooded thing.
Clive, I'm going to jump over to the Paul Pluta channel in a minute. We're going to do another show. I've been thinking about whether I do this show or not, and I've actually decided, Clive, to do it. Is that okay? I want to do a watch review.
Okay.
And I would like your assistance with it. So we're going to do this on the Paul Pluta channel. It's a watch review of a competitor, which is okay because I've been paid by someone to do this. I don't know who the competitor is. So we're going to run this. We're going to run this over on the Paul Pluta channel. So anyone who's watching who wants to see this will be up in a few minutes. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
See you over there. Okay, so guys, we're going over to the Paul Pluta channel.